Come on, Buddymeister, wake up!
Oh, it's you.
Servus Freunde, my name is Jimmy Cage.
And I'm Deniz, the Buddymeister.
And it's our continuing pleasure to review at least one Indian movie each week. And if you want to get early information on what we are working on, or vote on the next picks, or choose a movie directly for us, you can now head over to our Patreon at patreon.com/TheJimmyCage.
Jimmy, we go deeper and deeper into the classics of Indian cinema. Some are common knowledge, but others are completely off our radar. So we're glad that you recommend us classic movies that we never heard of or would have never found. And the Telugu language musical drama Sankarabharanam by K. Viswanath is one of those classics.
The movie was released on February 2nd, 1980, and only in a few theaters. Initially, almost no one watched it, but due to positive word of mouth, the cinemas were packed after some time. And it actually triggered a whole sequence of movies that dealt with art of any kind.
Sankarabharanam is all about the love for music.
It is very much a celebration of music, specifically of Indian classical music. At the beginning, director Viswanath even gives a little introduction in the form of a Sanskrit subhashita.
Yes, a short poem that translates to "Music is enjoyed equally well by babies, animals and even snakes." And then he says, "We hope you appreciate our effort in bringing you the Jiva Dara, the live stream of Indian classical music."
Which I found to be so lovely.
I don't know about you, but it didn't take me much time and I was reminded of Katyar Kaljat Ghazali.
Yeah, the high emphasis on music very much reminded me of it too, but also of Satyajit Ray's The Music Room.
Right, yes, but Sankarabharanam is not as heavy as those two, especially not as heavy as The Music Room.
It's a good mixture of humor and comic relief and very serious topics as well. Why don't you break down the story real quick?
Sankarabharanam is essentially all about a rare and special bond between two people, the master of classical music Shankara Shastri and his admirer Tulasi, a woman from a family of prostitutes.
It's a really lovely story, because this bond is also solidified by a few other characters, mainly Tulasi's charming son Shankaram, that brings a sort of ease and sympathy to the story.
Chronologically, the beginning of the movie is actually set somewhere in the middle of the story, and it's a pretty unique and creative opening that gives you a good feeling for what you're in for.
The whole sequence that unfolds with the opening credits is great. We are on this little boat. There is no dialogue, only the continuous humming of the boat's engine, paired with traditional singing and the creation of music and rhythm through ordinary sounds. A little boy is making music this way, together with another passenger on the boat, while the other people around him, especially the mother of the boy, are enjoying the performance.
Right from the start, this shows us the unique and universal appeal of music.
Exactly, and as you already said, the scene is set somewhere in the middle of the story, because that mother is our protagonist Tulasi, played by Manju Bhargavi, and the little boy is her son Shankaram, who is actually played by a female actress whose real name is, well, also Tulasi.
After that, we jump back in time to a musical performance by Shankara Shastri, and the story of him and Tulasi and their connection slowly unfolds. In tune, beat and tempo, just like the song that Shankara Shastri sings. Everything is in rhythm with this movie. You get taken away by it, just like Shastri and Tulasi are taken away by each other. They value the other person. They have an understanding for each other without a lot of talking.
At the heart of that relationship is both their love for music. They aren't romantically involved, they have a platonic relationship and they share this big passion for music. But they also protect each other, and without question, Shastri tries to help her and doesn't send her away, even if the people and fans around him don't understand and begin to gossip gossip and stay away from his performances.
There's a lot of heart and soul involved, and I think the actors, with JV Somayajulu and Manju Bhargavi leading the way, show it through their eyes and with their gestures. It's restrained acting, but it's meaningful. And when Tulasi closes her eyes and sees herself dancing to Shastri's music, it's really not that restrained anymore, but full of energy and passion.
I loved that too, but I honestly wasn't expecting that the film would also deal with very serious topic matters. When Tulasi is overwhelmed by a client her mother has sent to her, for a second I was afraid the film would downplay the whole thing, which to me instantly looked like rape. But it doesn't get downplayed. Instead, Tulasi takes a shard of glass from the frame of Shastri's photo that her perpetrator just broke, and then she stabs him with it. From that moment on, I knew that this wasn't just a feel-good film about music, but also a genuine drama that addresses social issues.
And this makes the relationship between Tulasi and Shastri a lot more interesting and deep, although after that things pretty much go as planned, and Sankarabharanam becomes a lighter fare, especially because of Tulasi's son, the lawyer, played by Alu Ramalingaya, and the shenanigans by Kameswara Rao, played by Chandra Mohan.
But Alu Ramalingaya isn't just some mere comic relief. He totally blends in with the film's good-hearted nature. You can really sense that he wants to help his friend and his friend's daughter. He wants them to be happy.
Yeah, the movie finds a good balance overall and nothing felt out of place, particularly because the music always found its way back into the story. The dancing is wonderful, the songs are great, and the playback singers did a fantastic job.
It's really nice that Shastri is shown as someone with an open mind, and I was pleasantly surprised that he doesn't condemn Western music, but instead highlights the importance for classical music while also addressing that all music can be wonderful. Though I was a bit confused at first because he was annoyed by the neighbors, but maybe because they were simply loud and rude.
That was a bit confusing. I initially also thought that he was very strict with his music and his rules about music, and Sankarabharanam tries to throw light on the chasm between classical Indian music and modern Western music. So for a moment there, Shastri lost a bit of his sympathy, but he won it back later. He really just wants people to understand and enjoy music. Oh, and that moment in his final performance when he recognizes Tulasi, wonderful.
They helped each other in time of need. It's a beautiful bond, like two people with one heart.
And the curtain falls. So, what would we say in German about Sankarabharanam?
Sankarabharanam ist ein charmanter und schöner Film, der nicht nur von der außerordentlichen Liebe zur Musik und ihrer Darstellung im Film lebt, sondern vor allem von der ungewöhnlichen und besonderen Beziehung seiner sympathischen Figuren. I give Sankarabharanam 8 out of 10. It's more like 7.8. But I don't do that.
For me, it's 7 out of 10. It's more like 7.4, but I don't do that either. Did you know that I wasn't able to find any interesting outside-the-box trivia for this movie?
Didn't know that.
Sorry.
What are your thoughts about Sankarabharanam? Leave a comment and hit me up on Twitter, Instagram and Letterboxd, and now also on Patreon, simply at The Jimmy Cage.
And you can hit me up on Twitter at the Buddymeister.
And as always, if you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up, share, subscribe, whatever you like. And make sure you hit that bell for all we have to tell.